Hey guys, Kiwi here. In this video, I wanted to break down the official Comic-Con trailer for Season 8 of The Walking Dead, along with giving my predictions on what we should expect from the first half of this season as I jump into the comics for examples. With that being said, warning of spoilers for everything in the show up to Season 8, along with spoilers for everything in the comics up to around issue 127. So first off, as we all know, Season 8 is hyped up to be all-out war between Rick and Negan, which took 12 issues in the comics or 2 volumes. During the first volume of All Out War, issue 115, Rick and friends all prepare for their attack on the Sanctuary. Rick gives a big motivational speech to all the people in front of him, including people from Alexandria, the Hilltop, and the Kingdom. I believe that this speech is the same speech that we hear during the Comic-Con trailer for Season 8, as what he's saying seems only fitting for the situation. As issue 115 ends with everyone surrounding the Sanctuary, this leads into their actual main plan, which is to give Negan his own no way out. So how will they do that? Well, in the comics they had completely shot out all the windows at the Sanctuary, providing a crap ton of noise to be heard far and wide by any possible surrounding walkers. It doesn't take long before hordes and hordes appear, while having our main group run away and escape, leaving Negan and his men trapped in the Sanctuary, surrounded by zombies. This is what we saw in the beginning of the Comic-Con trailer as Negan tells Gabriel that he hopes that he has his shitting pants on. Now in the comics, it was originally Dwight that Negan said this to, not Gabriel, so it's interesting that Gabriel was the one taking his place. Why is Gabriel with Negan? Did Gabriel sacrifice himself in similar fashion to Holly in the comics? I know that Sasha has already concluded Holly's story in a way, but there's still a possibility that someone needs to drive through the outside wall of the Sanctuary in order to let the zombies in to surround the Sanctuary's building itself. Gabriel doesn't look injured though, so we'll have to wait and see. Now I'd like to discuss how they actually plan to pull all of this off in the TV show, as the trailer alludes to quite a few big hints. So during the trailer we see Morgan, Daryl, Carol, and Tara all out on a mission together, and it takes about halfway through the trailer for them to fully reveal what that is. The mission is to move a huge horde of walkers just like they did in the Season 6 premiere, except this time they're doing it to direct the horde at the Sanctuary in order to give Negan his own version of No Way Out. The trailer reveals that Carol and Tara are passing time on a bridge while a huge horde of zombies walk under them. I assume that this is the horde from the highway with the dynamite that we saw during Season 7B, and that this is all planned as they're wanting to use the horde against Negan. I also assume that Carol and Tara just needed to direct the horde towards them, and now that their job is done, they just need to wait it out as the horde travels under them and to the wanted destination, the Sanctuary. And so as we see the Saviors all in a room together later while Simon is bickering with one of them, I'm guessing that this is during the time that they're surrounded by zombies. Speaking of which, I'd like to now discuss the rest of Rick's plan to eliminate the rest of the Saviors. So while Negan's main group is trapped in the Sanctuary, Rick plans to send multiple groups out to attack each outpost Negan has at once. Now they want to divide their forces in order to attack each outpost at the same time, because they want to have all of the outposts taken out by the time that Negan's main group escapes the Sanctuary, if the horde of zombies don't kill them, that is. And so in the comics during issue 118, it mostly consists of Ezekiel narrating how all of the main groups that went to go attack the outposts were successful, except for his. As Ezekiel explains how Rick's group was confident at what they were doing, he confesses that he never sent his men into battle before. It took Ezekiel far too long to realize that the battle was lost, resulting in all of his men being gunned down in front of him. As Ezekiel tries running away, a bunch of walkers start attacking both him and the Saviors, shooting at him as the gunfire had attracted a lot of unwanted company. Luckily, the walkers gave Ezekiel enough of a diversion to escape from the Saviors, but then he became surrounded by walkers himself. Now the thing that saved him here was actually Shiva the Tiger, as she jumps in to save the day and act as one final diversion as Ezekiel escapes with his life. Sadly, as he looks back, Shiva does go down fighting, and the rest of issue 118 shows Ezekiel crying over Shiva's death, along with the death of all of his men that he led into battle. Now the reason why I just explained that is because I truly believe that the exact same thing will happen in the show. I've predicted this on the channel previously, but now I fully believe it to be true, as we can actually see a brief clip of Shiva completely surrounded by zombies in the trailer. The second I saw that, I said RIP Shiva, but let me know what you guys think yourself. Now, during this depressing manslaughter in the comics, Richard actually dies in Ezekiel's arms. Considering that Morgan killed Richard last season, I assume that this will probably be that ginger soldier guy, as he's shown to be beside Ezekiel while they're attacking someone in the Season 8 trailer. And that leaves the question, is this scene of Ezekiel and his men sneaking up and shooting something in the Season 8 trailer them attacking an outpost? The rest of the trailer shows multiple clips of Rick's group infiltrating buildings, along with preparing to breach doors and entryways, so I assume that that's literally them attacking outposts themselves. We also see Rick shooting in a building, and I assume that that's also an outpost as well. And if the show really stays true to the comics, then Aaron's boyfriend Eric might get killed during their outpost attacks, as that was the cause of his demise in the comics. Now, I could predict that someone else might take his death, and that is a possibility, but at this point it's a real toss-up to whether or not they decide to remix certain deaths, depending on what they are. We also saw Aaron contemplating something while his hand was covered in blood, so could that be during Eric's death or something else? And as one more final confirmation that Ezekiel's men will get gunned down like I say, I think that we might have actually seen a glimpse of it during the end of the trailer. We see a line of soldiers getting gunned down in a grassy field, which could be the same area that we saw Ezekiel's men shooting at earlier, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like the people that get gunned down here have Kingdom armor on, so I assume that they are Ezekiel soldiers. Now, I'm guessing that the Season 8 premiere will focus on Rick's group entrapping Negan in the sanctuary with zombies, while the second episode will focus on them attacking all of the outposts. That will give the third episode a moment to catch our breath as everyone returns from battle, along with probably Ezekiel admitting his defeat, but I could see the end of episode 3 leading into episode 4 with Negan giving his rebound attack just like he did in the comics. Now, in the comics, Negan attacks Alexandria, I believe, with a bunch of hand grenades among other things, but I'll leave that for another day as we don't actually get to see any of that battle in this trailer. And finally, I'd just like to throw it out there that I believe that the post-end card scene with Rick waking up in his bed is a tease for the new beginning. I won't really bother explaining it here as I'll probably discuss it in an entirely separate video, but that's pretty much it for this one, guys. I'd appreciate a like on the video if you've enjoyed anything I've said today, or even subscribe for more Walking Dead content in the very near future. And as always, I thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.